Hi everyone, today I am going to explain you about inline functions in programming in C. Introduction. Inline function is an enhancement feature to increase the execution time of a program. The function itself a concept which increases the execution time. The functions can be interpreted to a compiler to make them inline so that the compiler can replace those functions wherever those are being called. Actually, when a function is called, the function statements should be called. That is, the control will shift to the function, the statement will get executed, then the control will back to the called area. But in case of inline function, the statements will be replaced where we are calling the function. The compiler replaces the definition of inline function at compile time instead of referring the function definition at runtime. So this is the concept of inline function. If function is big, automatically the compiler will not take the function as an inline. It will ignore the keyword inline and it will treat the function as a normal function. Only inline function is applicable when the size of the function is very small. So why this inline function is very important in terms of execution time? Before getting into the inline function deeply, you have to know what will happen when a normal function called. So the following steps explain you the various steps involved in calling a function. A function, first step, the function call instruction, the CPU stores the memory address of the instruction following the function call, and then it copies the arguments of the function on the stack. Finally, it transfers the control to the particular function. After that, after executing the function code, it stores the function return value in a predefined memory location or register. So the arguments will be stored in the register, that is stack, and the return value will be stored in the memory location or it may be a register. And after returning the value, that is loading the value in the register, it will return the control to the calling function. So what is the difference between the normal function and inline function? This picture will explain you very well. See, you can see the first picture, normal function start. So the execution starts here and it will get into the function body. Here code, this is main function body. This is our function, my function. So this is main function. So inside main function, I have called the function my function. So on seeing this statement for a normal function, the control will transfer to the particular block, that is my function. Then all the statement will be executed. After that, the flow control will transfer back to the main function body. This is what happened in the normal function. But in case of inline function, what will happen? This function body, this my function body, will be replaced by this my function statement. That means the actual body of the function will be inserted in the main function body. So this is the difference. You can see this blue area is given is placed outside the main function body here. The control is shifting here and then back to the main function. Whereas in the inline function, the main function has been inserted in the same main function body. So why it is so important? So for large functions with the complex stacks, actually the shifting time between these two functions is very less or less when compared to the execution time of this function. That means if we have more number of complex tasks inside the my function, then it is not a problem for having this shifting time. That is, the execution time of the function should be more than the shifting time. But in case if the shifting time is very heavy, that is large, when compared to the execution time of the function, then we can go for inline function. For small function, the execution time of a small function is less than the switching time, that is shifting time. An inline function is used to reduce the function call overhead. So automatically the switching time will get reduced if you use the inline function, because there is no need of shifting between these functions, main functions and the function blocks. The inline function is a function that expands in inline when it is called. Expands means it expands inline, that is inside the main function itself. When the inline function is called, the whole code will get replaced into the point where we have called that particular function. So this substitution is performed during the compile time itself by the compiler. It is not at the runtime, execution time. So this inline function is very much useful to increase the efficiency of a program in case of small functions. It is not at all applicable for large functions. Next, the syntax for inline functions. The syntax for inline function is looking very similar to the normal function. We can see in this slide. So inline is the one and only keyword we are inserting newly in a normal function syntax. So inline is a keyword which makes the entire function as inline, then return type, function name followed by parameters. Inside the curly brackets we have to mention the function code. An example for inline function, I have created one function display. So you can see this display number is a inline function, as I mentioned inline keyword before the function name. So inline, the return type is void, so we are not going to return any values, and then name of the function display number, inside the bracket argument. So I am receiving only one argument called n. Then cout statement to display the value n. So you can look at this function which has only one statement, not more than that. That is very small function. So inline is applicable. So next one, int main. Here I am going to call this display number function. Display number inside bracket 15. So only one argument 15. So it will search for the display number function. Then it will receive the, so we found out that is only one function is there, that too inline. So immediately on seeing this inline keyword, the control will not shift from main function to the function area. Instead of that, the cout statement will get replaced in this area. That is where we have called the display number function. Similarly, the second case also, as it is inline, the statement will get replaced in the main function. For the third case also it will happen the same way. So the output for this program, very simple program, 15, 28, 676. So we have displayed all the three values. So what are the restrictions in inline? Where and all we cannot put inline for functions. So there are 5 restrictions. If we have the following that is pattern of coding inside a function, then we cannot put inline before a function name. Okay, right. If a function contains a loop, automatically if we have any type of loop, for loop, while loop or do while loop, whatever the loop may be, if we have a loop inside a function, then inline is not applicable. If a function contains a static variable, then we cannot put inline. For recursive function also we cannot put inline. So the fourth point is, if the return type is void, then there is no need to put return statement finally in the function. But if we have some other return type, for example integer, float, anything it may be, after giving this return type as other than void data type, if we have missed to place return type, there is no return statement, then the function cannot be treated as a inline. Automatically it will avoid treating the function as a inline. So if a function contains switch or go to statements, then we cannot make the function as an inline. So in all the cases, the number of statements will be more, number of processing will be more, that is task execution time will be more. Automatically, we cannot have the function as an inline. So the next one is, thank you so much.